Okay, so it does say that we're live. I'm just going to do one check to make sure that we are live, and then I'll be straight back in. 1 second. Okay, brilliant. So we are live. So good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to tonight's stream. So tonight I'm being joined by John Lawrence, and what we're going to be doing is highlighting the media lies about the Justice for Our Boys case. Myself and John have decided to dedicate a weekly stream to Justice for Our Boys because it is absolutely despicable the way that the families have been treated by the authorities. I also believe it's necessary to keep highlighting the many injustices of this case, especially when there's misinformation agents deliberately perpetuating lies about the case. So that's just a brief introduction from me, and I'll hand straight over to Mr. Lawrence.
Good evening, everyone. As you said, I'm going to dedicate my shows now on James's channel, highlighting things about the three boys case. This week, we're going to go through some media articles and the media lies that they do. I just want to say one thing. Tracy did start a petition which got to so many tens of thousands of signatures, but and then someone pointed out to me, why aren't we continuing with, or why hasn't it been advertised more? The petition, I've signed it, and I know many other people have signed it. But let me just say one thing. We did a petition for the grooming gang report that got 130,000 plus signatures. And what did we get off of that? Absolutely nothing. So it's saying to me that these kind of things don't work. But they may work in the future, but they don't work for us. But anyway, going ahead, our first bit is off the video Yellow Vest Activist, done by Katie Razzle and Yasminara Khan. Over to you, James.
Right, yeah, so bear with me 1 second and I'll bring this video up. So yeah, it was from the BBC back in January of 2019. So we're going to play, it's about the opening 3 or 4 minutes, just so that we can rebuke obviously what Katie Razzle and the rest of the traitors at the BBC have said. So hopefully this will go right. Bear with me. Okay. So that's there. Okay. Right, so I'm having a bit of, there we go. Right, okay, so we can play it now, and that should be perfect.
Justice for the three, just don't think you understand. We have to make some noise, it took away our voice, and now we're going to shame the police.
They're singing about 3 boys who died.
Just don't think you understand.
The campaign began online, but now it's being routinely chanted on the streets. They believe that a shocking crime has been covered up. Some say the story you're about to hear is a manifestation of how the far right weaves facts, potentially genuine grievances, and conspiracy to foment unrest. Others disagree. What happened, or is believed to have happened, is one of the main causes of the UK's Yellow Vest movement. Last year, 3 teenage boys were hit by a car here in West London. The driver, Janesh Chudasama, was a local Asian man who'd been drinking that afternoon. What happened here that night was truly horrific. Mr. Chudasama was driving along this road in this direction. According to court documents, he was speeding at 71 miles an hour when he overtook another car, swung back in, clipped the curb, and went on to lose control and plough into the 3 boys as they walked along here. The impact was so severe that one of them, Josh, was flung up and over the fence and landed in the cemetery. The only small mercy in all of this was the pathologist report that said 2 of the boys, George and Josh, died instantly, and Harry, the other boy, almost instantly. Chudasama later pleaded guilty to causing death by dangerous driving and was jailed for 13 years. But the decision by the Court of Appeal to cut that sentence to 10 years outraged the grieving families. That added fuel to the existing belief that in fact the incident had been deliberate, perhaps even an act of terrorism. One person who believes it was deliberate is Tracy Blackwell, the mother of Josh, who was killed by Janesh Chudasama.
The BBC told the British public that the car lost control, mounted the pavement and killed the boys. It never lost control. You can see it on the CCTV and you can see it on the collision report.
Tracy Blackwell is one of a number of the boys' relatives who have complained of poor treatment by the police from the start and unanswered questions. Their campaign has won sympathisers in certain quarters online.
No matter what you think of this case, it's clear.
Not least the founder of the English Defence League, Tommy Robinson, real name Stephen Yaxley Lennon.
I can't be 100% certain that this was a terrorist attack, but I certainly don't blame the families for coming to the conclusions they have.
Up and down the country, amongst the yellow vests, we found people who believe that Chudasama could be an Islamist terrorist. He's from a Hindu family.
Listen to me carefully. He was not Hindu.
Right,
If he was, a convert.
right.
Islam?
And you believe that or you know that?
I know Islam.
The appalling events in Hayes are part of a wider campaign of grievances by these people in high-vis jackets. Most prominent is Brexit. Small groups have been donning yellow vests on a weekly basis in towns and cities across the nation, aiming to capitalise on the symbolism and success of France's far larger Gilets jaunes.
And we're being abused and put down by the establishment and calling us racist, bigots.
This was London, and this Leeds, where anger about Brexit has brought people out onto the streets.
Right. John?
So, you heard Tracy in there saying that the crash report stated that the guy never lost control. We've got a copy of the crash report here. James will just get it up in a second. Unfortunately, I can't read it out because I haven't got it on me.
It's all right, I can read it out if you want, mate.
Go on, go on.
Right, so the crash report states that there was no physical evidence to indicate that the Audi ran along the curb or lost control at this point. If Mr. Chudasama lost control of the vehicle due to the amount of steering inputted into the vehicle at 71 miles an hour in order to complete the overtake, then I would have expected the rear lights visible on the CCTV to have swayed from side to side. Furthermore, the vehicle may have crashed in either direction within the 60 metres distance. At 71 miles an hour, it would have taken the Audi in the order of 2 seconds to travel this distance. So, what Katie Rozelle said in that hit piece that she did, you know, everything's been a lie. And this is all that these people from the media, the CPS, the authorities, all they've done is perpetuate lies against this case. The injustice is there for everybody to see it. And, you know, the fact that people can attempt to cover up the murder of 3 children really does speak volumes about their moral compasses. And like we said, we're doing this stream tonight to carry on raising awareness because awareness needs to be raised. You know, these families still haven't had justice and they need justice, you know. And so, sorry, I've rambled on. I'll pass on to you, John. It infuriates me.
Listen, James, it infuriates me. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm doing this now. Today, I've had to spend over an hour going through some of Tracy's early videos. And if you haven't subscribed to her channel and watched her early videos, everything we're saying here, she says in them early videos. She didn't know nobody then. She didn't know me. She didn't know James. But she said it in them early videos. I'll get the link in the chat and shortly. And this is for Tracy's YouTube channel. Subscribe and watch them early videos. A lot of the stuff we're covering here is in them early videos. And they don't have a lot of views, as far as I'm concerned. Don't have enough views. So people aren't watching them, so they just don't know. And I want people to watch them and listen and see what she says herself. And we're confirming all these things. And the documentary will confirm everything when it comes out of what we're saying in these points. And it's been really difficult today to watch them early videos again, but I went through it and I took notes, and we're here. Again, this week we're going to be concentrating on media things, and then next week we're going to be talking about the police, how they treated the families and what they did on the case and what they said. And again, it can all be factually backed up and stuff like that. So I want to go straight on to the next article, which is out the Sun newspaper, 28th of January 2018. Now, I'm not highlighting a lie. I just want to highlight something that we will get back to on another time. Now, a section of the article reads, at least 2 men were said to have jumped from the black A5, but one was caught at a nearby Esso petrol station, witnesses said. So the media is saying at least 2. So did they think it may be more people in that car than 2 people that were led to believe? Did they think that? And it's not the only article that says that. So that's a very interesting thing, that. And in further episodes, we'll be getting on to looking a bit more in depth at that. So at least 2 men were said to have jumped from the black A5. So the media are saying it could be more. And I want people to listen to that. Read the statement, which we'll put the links in the chat, and think for yourselves. Now, the next one, we're going to the Independent, 26th of February.
Oh, John, sorry just to interrupt quickly, but there's a bit, because I've also read the same article that you sent me as well, and what the media failed to report is the fact that they said that, a 34-year-old man has handed himself in, but they failed to mention the fact that this individual was only questioned for the exact total of, I think, 17 minutes. So this is all the guy that was questioned for. There's so many, there's like you said, from start to finish, the police have let the families down at so many key points. They didn't search the driver's property because they didn't want to wake people up. There's so many lies that they're told. And he wasn't 34, he was 24. Sorry, Tracy's just mentioned that in the chat now. So don't, everything that the media have put out is a complete utter lie, and that was their agenda from the start, because they didn't want people to know the truth. Sorry, I'll pass back over to you, mate.
No worries. Yeah, of course. I was going to get to that, but no, yeah, obviously. And I mean, we can't trust the media. Katie Razzle has done a number on me, James, and a few other people. My mum's shouting me 1 minute. Sorry about this.
No problem. So whilst John nips off quickly, I will get this next article that I've got up, so just bear with me 1 second. Evening to everyone that has just joined us tonight. As you can all tell by the title of the stream tonight, we're highlighting the many lies that have been perpetuated by the media, and also that these lies that have been perpetuated have also found their way into so-called movements. So like I said, the main reason for us to coming on is to stop this misinformation being spread, and also to show support for the Justice for Our Boys cause, because it's a cause that should be close to everyone's heart. It's certainly close to mine, and everybody that I've spoken to about it is absolutely outraged at what happened. And credit to Tracy for carrying on fighting, as difficult as it is for her. She never stops fighting. She's out on the streets, and she's always raising awareness. And like I'd say, whenever she's doing anything, people need to fully support her, because all she's doing is attempting to get justice for those 3 beautiful boys that were so cruelly taken away. So now that you're back, John, I'll pass straight back over to you.
No problem. So I'm going to go on to the next article out, the Independent, 26th February 2018. CCTV showed him overtaking another vehicle at 71 miles per hour in a 60 zone. Now, in the next couple of episodes, we'll go in a bit more detail into that, because we know that is false. But we'll go into a bit more detail in other episodes. Before losing control of the car and hitting the victims, prosecutors said. Now, as we said all the media reports, anything that's stated in the public domain says that he lost control, and he didn't. We've just read out that crash report. I've read it out before. Tracy has read it out before. Plenty of other people have seen that crash report as well. So it's just bullshit that they're saying these kind of things. But many of us have, like I said, have seen and seen that crash report. Now, what they don't tell you in any of the media reports, in anything, there was 2 other kids hit that night besides the 3 boys. That's what they don't tell you, that these 2 kids were hit. So there should be more charges laid on this guy, but they're not doing it. And it don't say it in any kind of report. But other 2 kids, the first 2 who were hit by that car was when the car first mounted the pavement. Nothing in the mainstream media, nothing on the police or anything have said anything about them 2 boys who were hit first. And Katie Razzle said that 2 of the boys died instantly and 1 very soon after being hit, which is also a lie. And we can prove that, and it will be proved in the documentary that the boys were alive for up to an hour after the attack. So it's just one complete lie after another of the media, and we're not having it. We're not having it. This is why I fought so hard for Tracy and justice for our boys, and always supported it. I mean, me and James don't always agree on everything, but this certainly thing is close to our hearts, like you said, and we're not going to back down from talking about it, explaining to people more about it. Again, in future episodes, we'll be going into, next week, it's going to be going into what the police said to the families. And this is all already documented online by Tracy. We're just going to repeat it and keep letting people know what's going on. We're going to tell you how they told bullshit to the families. We're going to tell you how they treated the families with absolute disgust and everything. This is just, considering people have lost lives and these kids have been killed. The police didn't have any compassion in any of this. They didn't. And you'll hear this. You'll hear it off Tracy's voice and everything. Again, the first few videos that Tracy did on her YouTube channel explain an absolute lot of what is going on and the kind of crap and cover up. And this is over 2 years ago, before she found out what's going on since then. And we want you to watch these videos, watch, learn, understand, do your own research, check articles. I've put links in. I'll put the link in for the Independent. There is more at what it says in these articles, but I didn't want to go on reading it all out because I'd probably start crying in some of it. I just wanted to highlight a couple of things. So don't forget, the son, at least 2 men were said to have jumped from the black Audi A5. Did they think it might be more? Did the police think there might be more people in that car? That's something we've got to think about. Again, the Independent saying that they lost control. No, they didn't lose control. Of course, you've seen Katie Razzle, who's had a go at me, James and Tracy before on the Yellow Vest Activist video, lying. And she says that them lads died instantly, and they didn't, right? They didn't. So we want people to understand, we want people to learn, research, do your own viewing, watch Tracy's video. She didn't know nobody 2 years ago when she was doing these videos. She didn't know me, she didn't know James. And she'd put out her thoughts onto video. She'd read out stuff from the police, what they've said to the families and things like that. Like I said, we'll get onto that next week. This week, we just wanted to talk about the media. Now, a couple of questions I've got. How come the media are so controlled and all that lot? Yes, maybe they want to keep the narrative, like they said, and stuff like that. But there must be something else behind it. There must be some kind of master behind them telling them what to say and what to do and things like that. And we're just not having it. Also, James, have you got that clip, the YouTube clip with the interview with the boy and the guy in the yellow vest? It was the third one, I think.
Let me just have a look. I'll have to check through that. 1 second, if you want to carry on, mate. Just to correct you as well, not being obtuse, but it was just a bit of misinformation. One of the boys died instantly, two didn't, but they were told that all three died instantly.
Yeah, of course.
So just to clear that up, sorry, because there's a lot of well, obviously we've got people commenting in as well with information that, and just what the dual faced monkey said as well. The road was open to traffic within an hour as well. So as much as we're focusing on the media as well, but every single procedure that the Met Police should have followed, they didn't, and like I said, the way that they treated the families is absolutely disgraceful, and they've been treated this way ever since it happened, and it's just a disgrace. People should be up in arms about this, right? We're having our freedoms taken away, but this should be right up at the forefront of everything, because this is a cause that would unite everybody against the political class. And remember that it's the political class that are doing this. It's the political class. They're the ones. These are the people that are facilitating and orchestrating all of these attacks against people, and they're allowing it to happen. And every time they do, what they do is they take away more and more of our freedoms. So we should be angry, but we should be directing it to those people that sit in Whitehall, that sit in Downing Street, that think they can somehow rule over us. Tracy just corrected me as well. It wasn't an hour. It was a bit longer than that. But still, it wasn't long enough. And I'm just, it infuriates you. Absolutely infuriates you. So whilst I look for the clip, if you want to carry on, mate, keep going. And if there's anybody that's got any questions in the chat, obviously put them in, and we'll do our best to answer them.
So remember as well, from the very beginning, Trace has been telling us that the crash report was never put into the case. When the guy went up for the case, he never put a crash report in. Besides that, they didn't. They tried deflecting when he got his sentence reduced, and they moved courts. They didn't give Tracy any like kind of notice about that he was coming up in court, and it's luckily she even got there, she said. And it's just ridiculous that this is how they're treating us. Obviously, the police and the media as well together doing this. No wonder nobody knows nothing, and they must have they've had this control over us for years and years and years. I can imagine how many people have died, and they've covered it up. And just recently, while I was working last year, I met a woman whose friend's son was knocked down and killed. And even though there was a lot of witnesses and there was talking to the driver of this car, they never found the driver of the car. These people refused to speak out. So her boy died, and there was no justice for her, which wrecked this woman's life. And I talked to her, and it was just disgraceful. And it just highlights how they've just hoodwinked us all these years. So I can imagine the deaths of people in this country through acts like this would run into the thousands and thousands, and we're just not having it. We're more awake now because of social media streams and things like that. We've got more awake, but is it too late? It probably is too late. Obviously, there's too many sheep out there who are not awake, and they won't never believe what we say. And I mean, we're called racist and everything over this. And if we speak out about this case, I've been called names, so as Tracy and James and anyone else involved in it. And we're just not having it. I'm not having it anywhere. I'm certainly not having it. I'm just looking through the chat. And the media also, the three main people in the media reports to do with this case was a young lad, a guy with a yellow vest on. They are named on the video. And,
is it the news report from ITV?
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Right. I'll play this next. Okay. 1 second. Excuse me. Anybody that I'm just looking through a few of the comments in the chat, and just to go on to what you said, there's a lot of people that get called names for sticking up for justice for our boys, but the people that are the people that are name calling and trying to cause the division are the ones that have no heart, they have no soul, and the way that they will try and spin and change the whole narrative of this case into lies about something that's not happened really does speak volumes. We shouldn't give these people the time of day, because they're bottom feeders. They feed on people's misfortune and they feed on getting attention. So it's the news report from ITV that you wanted me to play now, John, if I'm correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Bear with me. So I'm getting the hang of this YouTube malarkey. I'm a bit of a tech tard, so let me just play it now. It should be working. Right.
So Jake Webb there, a friend of the victims.
Sorry, it's gone wrong there. Did anybody hear any of that, or was it completely silent?
No, it was silent.
Right, let me try again. 1 second. Sorry about this. I do apologise. I told you I'm an idiot when it comes to YouTube and sharing screens. 1 second. Right, it's because I didn't press share audio. Okay. Try it again. Do apologise about this, everyone.
An investigation's underway into the deaths of 3 teenage boys killed when a car ploughed into them as they were walking to a party. Flowers have been laid at the scene in West London, where the collision happened yesterday evening. Police have arrested a 28-year-old man who was in the car. From the scene, Olivia Kinsley reports.
For a few minutes this afternoon, police closed the road where the crash happened for friends and family to say goodbye to 3 clearly much-loved boys. They're said to have been walking to a 16th birthday party just a few hundred metres away when the crash happened.
Within like 2 minutes, that's when the ambulances started to arrive, and the boys started to unload the ambulance of everything that was in there, first aid kits, everything. A boy came and stood, because I was in the car in the passenger seat, I had the window down. He was standing next to me on the pavement, and he was on the phone to, I think it was his mum or his dad, saying, "Oh, my friends are dead." He was crying. He couldn't even speak because he was so upset.
This photograph is believed to show the vehicle involved, which police have confirmed was a black Audi A5. They arrested a 28-year-old man, but say another man was reportedly also in the vehicle.
This is a busy, fast-moving road, and the boys were walking past the bus stop, which is on a slight bend. Police markings suggest that the car mounted the curb, travelled around 60 metres along the pavement, and then crashed into a lamppost and a wall.
A security guard who works nearby told us it's a dangerous road.
I mean, people just drive like lunatics, you know. Bad weather, good weather, they don't care. They take that 60 mile an hour speed limit to the extreme.
After releasing the balloons, the crowd held a minute's silence. This is a time when they will need one another's support. Olivia Kinsley.
So one more that they missed, sir. There was 3 people used in the news reports, which was Jake, that Tony guy, and an Indian dude. And when they're interviewing him, this Indian dude is a ex-policeman. He wasn't an ex-policeman. It was nothing to do with the police. It was nothing to do with the police. He was a consultant for something to do with something within the police, but he was not a police-serving policeman or anything. He never was, right? When the documentary comes out, there'll be further stuff brought out about them 3 people who were used in the media. Just them 3 people, nobody else. And when the documentary comes out, you'll see the truth. You'll see how it's been well investigated and stuff like that. I can't say everything to do with it, even though I've seen the documentary, and I'm not going to. But Tracy said it already. That Indian guy was not even in the police force, but that's what the media said he was, an ex-policeman. Obviously, they do it to make people think, oh well, he must be telling the truth, or he must be a righteous person if he was a policeman. And to all the normal sheep might think that, but we don't. But all the normal sheep might think that. Now, if I hadn't seen part of the documentary, I would have thought the same. Them saying he's a policeman, I would have thought that, but he wasn't. You just couldn't make it up. How the media have been so opposite on this and covering it up and saying the right politically correct things and all that lot. You just couldn't make it up. Again, we're not going to be going on long this stream. We just want to point out some of the media things. You've heard James talk, I've talked, you've heard some things in the chat. Go on.
And just as you were saying that, there was what I did want to bring up as well, because there were some lies that obviously have been perpetuated by the media. Now, this article is from British Armed Forces The Best. I believe it was written by Marion, and it's just a quick look at the facts which debunk. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it into the chat as well. I'm going to WhatsApp this to someone. One of my admins, if you can put this into the chat so everybody can have a read of it as well. 1 second. Hold on, bear with me, because I do want to read out a couple of the facts that debunk the media's attack. So I've just sent that to Mrs. Goddard. If you can put that into the chat. So let me just go back onto it, because it's vital that this is said as well. I'll do this and then I'll hand straight back over to you. I don't know whether you've got a copy of it or not, John. But so the first one, it says the media reported that the car spun 3 times. So this is true, but the car did spin. But what they failed to mention was that it spun after it had hit and killed the 3 boys. The CCTV clearly shows the driver was in full control of the car, and he manoeuvres left on a drop curb clearly and concisely, and then drives into a straight line along the pavement, knocking 2 boys out of the way, who thankfully survived, and then hitting and murdering our 3 boys. The car then spins 3 times in the road. The media tried to word it as such that the driver was not in control and spun the car. This only happened because the 5th child to be hit and the 3rd child to be murdered, Harry, landed on the bonnet, which blocked the driver's view and resulted in the crash. Secondly, the court papers. The recent media coverage is keen to point out that they have had that they have had sight of the court papers, but what they fail to mention, as it doesn't suit their narrative, is that vital evidence was not produced in court. The collision report clearly states that Chudasama was in full control of the car, and the CCTV proves this. Finally, remorse. The recent media coverage is also keen to point out that Jainesh Chudasama has shown great remorse for what happened. There was even a bit in the BBC Yellow Vest thing where his solicitor had come and said that he'd contacted the family and he was really remorseful. It was complete utter bollocks. To date, the families have received no apology, no condolences, or in fact any correspondence from him or his legal representative or family member. So everything that the media have said is absolutely not true. So if he is remorseful, please explain A, why he ran from the scene without even stopping to check if our boys were alive. B, why he asked the police constable interviewing him if this would take long, as he had to open up the car rental company in the morning. C, Why did he provide 3 different false addresses in Leicester when he was applying for bail? D, why he lied that he was the only person living with his sick mother, so would need to be bailed in order to look after her, when the reality was there were 4 other people living in the same address. And finally, E, why he appealed his sentence. Anyone decent and remorseful would bow their head in shame and simply accept a 13-year sentence where you'll be released within 4 years for good behaviour. What else in the article then goes on to say, we would like to bring to your attention facts previously published once again for confirmation that we are not seeking justice out of bitterness or any so-called right-wing agenda, and that's rightfully so. The families are simply seeking justice because it hasn't been served. The establishment are working against the families, not with them. Why is that? Why are the police being so obstructive? What have the families done wrong? Why hasn't he been charged with any offences? Or is he being protected by the Met Police? So, this article was brilliantly put together, and everything that the media have put out has been a complete utter lie. And this is what they do. The media are misinformation agents for the political class. You look at these journalists, all these journalists are connected to MPs. They're the daughters and sons of MPs or members of the Houses of Lords and whatnot. So this group of people, almost like some sort of communist overclass ruling over us, these are the people that are perpetuating these lies. And unfortunately, there are retards out there that will believe what's said in the mainstream media. So, Tracy and many others, Tracy in particular, has spent so much time trying to make people aware of what's going on, and she continually has to do this with the full force of the establishment against her. So, for anybody that doubts the truth in this case, then please watch Tracy's videos, read the articles, have a look into the case, and do your own investigations. Anything that's written, anything that's produced by the BBC is a blatant hit piece. And I just want to say just one last thing in regards to that BBC hit piece. They lied. They were in touch with myself. Because they wanted an interview about everything, and all the BBC do is they cut things and they spin it to suit their agenda, which is why they used the crackpot based Amy as the one to, they zoom in on her to interview her. Let's pick the most craziest person and see if we can get them to say something, and that's all the media do. It's gotcha moments. And just to finish, sorry I'm going on, but it's a cause that is sincerely close to my heart. It's absolutely outrageous, not only the way the media have treated the families, but also you've got Sadiq Khan, you've got the different police bases, the different police constables that have treated the family with contempt. Each one of the police officers that have lied in this investigation must be held to account. We want to see jail sentences. We want to see people, and essentially, we just want justice. How hard is it to get justice? That's what this fight is about. It's a fight for justice and nothing else. Sorry, I hand over to you.
No worries. I couldn't agree more. Tracy tells me that there could be up to 50 police officers involved in this cover-up. We've not even started on the MPs and what they did. We'll be talking about Nick Hurd in future episodes. We've not even got there, and there's so much more to go on about the case. We just thought we'd start with these media things first and let you know, we know the media's our enemy. We know they are. We know they work for some other kind of power or whatever, and they want their own politically correct way of doing things. We know this. We just want to highlight it, and we want to tell people how bad it is. Again, in future episodes, we'll be going into further more stuff that Tracy said, done, and there is evidence for this. The documentary comes out, it'll absolutely blow the mind, blow away a lot of what's gone on here and stuff like that. In the documentary, you'll be seeing more of them 3 so-called people who spoke to the media. You'll be seeing more about them. You'll be seeing more about the police. On Tracy's early videos, she tells you that the killer wouldn't comment on anything when he in interviews and stuff like that. That's not being remorseful. If he was remorseful, he'd say something, and he didn't say nothing. He didn't comment on anything, and just went for that.
You're right there, John. You're right, and I just want to bring this point up because it's just come to my head. I was there the day that they reduced the driver's sentence. And I know Tracy got I think she got contacted. I think it was literally the day before that they told her. And this is how little empathy that these corrupt bastards have that sit in these courts, right? They didn't even deliver the verdict in the courtroom. They found out via Twitter, because I was watching Chudasama on the screen as everybody else was. He didn't show 1 ounce of remorse, not 1 ounce, yet his sentence was still reduced. People seem to not, I think some people seem to forget this, just how deep that this goes. You know, if you were remorseful, sincerely remorseful for what you'd done, then you'd make contact. No matter what reply you'd get, you'd make contact if you was remorseful. But the fact is, he wasn't remorseful, and it was deliberate. And it's the wrong charge. It should be 3 murders and 2 attempted murders. And just to clear up as well in regards to the media, because the media and some others have tried to say that Tracy's labelled it as a terrorist attack, an Islamic terrorist attack. Tracy has never said that. She's always spoken the truth about what happened to the boys. You know, other people have commented on the case, but Tracy has never said that. She has been honest from start to finish. And like I said, I was there in the appeal court. It was an absolute disgrace what they did. And I remember we went into another courtroom, and the police actually took I believe a couple of them actually took their hats off. Just to go on another comment in the chat from Sharon, the sentence was reduced as it was too harsh on the driver's family. Too harsh on the driver's family. Yeah, so the feelings of the victims aren't taken into account. They take the impact out of the impact statement, and then they give the driver a lesser sentence because of the impact on his family. It's an absolute travesty. And remember that this is a conservative government that are doing this. So all the people that are, you know, flittering between, oh, I want to go back to the Tories or this or that, it's a conservative government that have facilitated this. It's a conservative government that is stripping away your rights. And ultimately, it is a conservative government that is denying justice to 3 grieving families. And it's an absolute bloody disgrace. Sorry.
It certainly is. In Tracy's early videos, like I said, if you haven't watched them, get on and watch them first 4 or 5 first videos, right? Tracy and the families believe that the drink part of it is a smoke screen, but it's not put out there, right? And it could have been, and that could have meant it could have been a terror attack or a fanatical opportunist or a racially motivated attack. It's clear she says that in her early videos before she knew any of us. I was going to save that, but I thought I'd just get it in. You know what I mean? With all these things going on in our country now, and we're not aware of it. We're not aware of all these deaths. We're not aware. We think it's one thing or another, and it's not. And it's just totally not. We're not having it. We're just certainly not having it. Thank you to everyone for tuning in. Thank you for listening. I'll go through the comments after and look at a few things. I've not got my computer yet. When I get my computer sorted out, I'll be a bit more tech savvy and I'll be able to do a lot more as well. But again, next week, we're going to be talking about how the police treated the families, what the police did with the murderer. We'll be talking a bit more in detail about that. And again, all these facts are already on video already. Tracy's talked about these before she knew any of us, before she knew me, before she knew James, before she knew a lot of other people. She's already stated all this stuff down already. So I urge you, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel and watch the first 5 videos. You need to do it. You need to do it. Everything that we've talked about is in them first 5 videos, and you need to watch it. You need to watch that stuff. Again, thank you, everyone. It's been a really difficult couple of days for me because I had to go back, watch videos, bring back old memories to myself. I've been talking to Tracy, James, and it's been a really difficult couple of days. The other week, I went down to Shepperton Lane for the first time and cried. You know what I mean? It's the first time I've been there, and it was momental for me, but it was upsetting at the same time. But I'm not gonna let that upset not defer me from fighting for justice and trying to get more out about this case. And again, my show's going to be, for the next few weeks, going to be dedicated to this case. We're going to talk about it. If any questions come up or anything, we'll try and answer them best we can. And like I said, there's a lot of stuff that a lot of people haven't seen yet. When the documentary comes out, a lot more will be made clear for everyone. And then all those who've gone against Tracy are going to be shamed. We're going to point the fingers at the police and the authorities, that they're going to have to answer questions and stuff like that. They can't shut us down now. They just cannot shut us down. It's gone too far. They will not shut us down. So again, thank you for tuning in. Again, it's something that's close to mine and James's hearts, and we're going to continue to fight alongside Tracy and everyone else who supports the cause, and we're going to do the best we can for everyone. So thank you very much. We've gone 45 minutes. We'll cut off now.
I'll do a quick finish then. Have you said everything you need to say, mate? Yeah.
More or less. Hold on. I'm on Streets' channel 8 p.m. on a Mondays. When I get my computer set up, I'll be doing a show myself on Thursdays, and obviously I've started on James's channel, and we're going to keep it up as a weekly show. But yes, go ahead.
Yeah. Right. So I just want to, like I said, I just want to finish with this. I want to thank everybody that's taken the time to listen to what we've had to say this evening. Like we've said, the reason in particular that we're doing these streams, I'm just going to mute you up a sec, John, is firstly because justice for our boys is a cause that's close to both of our hearts. Now, for me, this is bigger than politics. This isn't about politics. This is about 3 children that were murdered. It was about 2 children that would have been murdered had the driver not missed. He just missed them. So the driver's on the wrong charge. It should be 3 murders and 2 attempted murders. This is about gaining justice for the families, because the families haven't had justice. Now, you'll see people, and these people, they will they'll do this on purpose. They will spread misinformation because they don't want the truth to be out there. Everything that we've said in regards to this case, we provide evidence and facts. What I'd ask you to do is, please believe people that are presenting you with evidence and facts. The people that shout the loudest and don't provide any evidence and facts, these people are charlatans. These people are causing the division, and these people ultimately have no place amongst civilized society. Like I've said previously, this case is a pure case. I've known Tracy now for 2 years, and I just wish I'd have met Tracy under different circumstances. And nobody, and I mean nobody, can understand that the pain that those 3 families go through every single day. And this is what people seem to forget. So when you're seeing people that are making disgusting, abhorrent accusations without any facts, without any evidence, then please ostracize these people from your community. Tracy has never lied. She has always maintained the truth about what's happened, and she's the only person that I know that has consistently stuck to her word. She's been attacked. She's had people try and discredit the boys' case. She's had all sorts of infiltrators try to get involved in their attempts to destroy this case, and it's simply not going to happen, no matter what side of the political argument you sit on. I don't care if I get shit for this. I don't care what side of the fence you sit on. This is a cause that should unite the people against the political class. Remember this, because Boris Johnson, the so-called patriotic prime minister that so many patriots love, he knows all about this case. He's failed to get involved in it. Okay, the systemic, the cover-up, the corruption, it's so deep to go into that it can't be done on one stream. So like I said, we're going to spend the next however long it takes raising awareness, keep doing streams like this. And please, I'd ask you, if there is anybody that has ever doubted what Tracy said, or has believed the lies that others have told, please educate yourselves, research the facts yourself, and ask, because ultimately this is a cause that's about getting justice for 3 beautiful children, 3 children that should still be here today. And like I said, I'll never stop singing for the boys. I'll never stop supporting the boys' cause. And you know, me and Tracy don't share the same political opinions. Me and John don't share the same political opinions. But we come together on this cause because it's the truth. It is the truth. And like I said, whether you like me or not, it's not about me. It's about 3 boys. I will always talk about this case, and I will always highlight it, because these families need justice, and they need as many people on board as possible. So if you're looking at doing something and you want to go out over the weekend, then go out and tell people about what happened to these children. Tell them that it's not an isolated case. And ultimately, all Tracy's ever done is try to warn people, because she doesn't want others to go through the same pain that she goes through on a daily basis. So, you know, to all the people out there that are continuously attacking a grieving mother, sort your shit out, go and research, don't believe the media lies, and form your own opinions. And when you've done that, we can have a discussion. But until then, please stop with the smears, the accusations, because all it does is make people look bitter, and it really does show them for who they are. But enough of being negative about the people that don't matter. The main thing is, these 3 children were murdered. Justice hasn't been served, and we will continuously stand behind Tracy in her quest for justice for these 3 boys. So I've said all I need to say. Like I said, we'll be back next Wednesday at 7:30 with the next instalment, where we're going to focus on some other aspects of the case. So thank you to everybody that's been in the chat this evening. You know, it's brilliant to see so many here. So please, like I said, go out, share the truth about what happened to those 3 boys. And I think other than that, we'll leave it there. So yeah, thank you to everybody that's been in the chat tonight, and we'll see you again soon. Good night, God bless, and stay safe. Take care.